Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Philip Archer. What's up, Philip?
Yo.
What's up, Chris?
Hey.
What's up, Billy?
You're gonna taste my venom.
What's up, Matt Rose?
So I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
So tell me
Alright,
what
so
you
Chris.
want, what you really, really want.
So, Chris.
First of all, everybody keep their venom to themselves, please.
Oh, coronavirus. But carry on.
All right. News. We got news. So I'm going to save the Star Wars stuff for later because that's gonna take a while.
Okay.
Okay.
Multiple casts.
Let's start off with something that I'm very happy with.
Oh.
So there was the first official test screening for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Cool.
apparently went very well.
Good.
Yes.
Is that
So-
really the first test screening? I thought they did more before.
No.
This is apparently the first official one.
Okay.
And we got quotes from people who saw it. Almost everything that I've read it has been positive. The one thing that I keep hearing, which makes me very happy, very, very happy, is that this is the best film in the MonsterVerse.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
Bar none. This is the best one.
That's excellent.
Now, one thing that also was kind of interesting is that apparently the movie is less than 2 hours, which
I'm okay with that.
which apparently they said, now anybody who freaks out about that, don't worry, because it's focused, it gets to the point, and it doesn't drag.
Well, a lot
So-
of these MonsterVerse films, there's parts of them that just drag for me.
Exactly, yeah. So I am happy with this. That's been the most recent news. Other stuff is like the merchandising and whatnot, but that's not really important. There's going to be a lot of merchandise for the movie, basically. So that's good. I'm very happy to hear that. So I'm assuming we're going to be getting a trailer very soon because of that.
I dropped my Hershey bar.
There you go.
What?
I guess we can go into Star Wars now because this is going to take a while.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, this is going to take probably the rest of the cast.
No
to go.
Marvel news?
There is some, but I'm
let's
being
go.
biased here.
We respect your judgment. Go.
Right. Okay. So it is no longer a rumor. It is no longer speculation. It is no longer this may or may not be true. It is confirmed that the High Republic is real, and
Yes.
this is what they're going into
The comics, yeah.
for the future of Star Wars. Right now, it's going to be condensed into the publishing part of Star Wars with the novels and comics and whatnot, like Billy just said. So we can officially confirm that the story takes place 200 years before the Phantom Menace,
I'm so happy with that.
which
Yes.
I'm okay with. There's a good amount of concept art that you guys can
Yeah.
find online. They've
Yeah,
got
I saw the video they did.
They've got. I definitely recommend everybody watch that video because I think that's going to be very important.
The concept art,
Yeah.
there's villains concept art, and
Yeah.
I am 90% sure there is an evil Gungan, and that's
Yes.
exciting.
So the villains themselves are called the Nile,
Yeah.
which is what we see in that concept art. However, going outside of what was in the video, from what I've heard, was that these are not the main villains. These are puppet villains
Of Palpatine.
or the main villains.
Right. Okay.
No, they're not Palpatines, not yet anyway. The main villains are apparently going to have something to do with the Sith. And from what I'm hearing, and this is a direct quote, they're apparently something like Sith gods.
Oh.
Oh.
Whoa.
Now,
What?
I've heard a lot of people say that they're going to bring Abeloth into canon and change her a bit because in the EU she was completely ridiculous. Anybody who doesn't know who Abeloth was,
Yeah,
If you know who
encourage me. I don't know.
yeah, if you know who the father, the son, and the daughter are from
Yes.
Clone Wars, she is the mother.
Oh, I get where you're coming from now. I
So
got you.
the problem with Abeloth is that they made her so overpowered that she's like the most powerful thing in the old Star Wars EU. She's completely ridiculous. if they're going to bring her into canon, they're going to have to completely redo how she works because it's
Nerf her.
yeah, it's trying to sell this to people that are getting into the new canon would be like trying to sell molten lava to an Eskimo. It would just be like you can't do it. So if they're going to bring her in, they're going to change her. I personally think they're going to do all new characters, but who knows?
Yes, I'm excited. The Wookiee Jedis are back.
Yes, there's another Wookiee Jedi. Apparently, from what I've heard with the High Republic is that, and I think this has been confirmed, I think this was in the video, there is some sort of great catastrophe that happens during this time period, and apparently it has something to do with the hyperspace lanes.
Oh,
And
Yes,
the Jedi get separated or something like that, and that's where our story starts.
Right.
The main thing that they went off of was what scares the Jedi. That's apparently the question that they're asking. What makes the Jedi afraid? I think it could be a Sith thing, because at this point in the timeline, the Sith should be gone. We know that they're not, but the Jedi shouldn't have had any contact with them. But apparently, there may be a whole story that has to do with Yoda covering something up about the Sith.
Young adult Yoda.
No, not really. Since this is 200 years beforehand, he's obviously going to be younger than we see him in Phantom Menace, but not that much younger.
Yeah.
Late
already
30s, early 40s Yoda.
He's already been around for several hundred years, so he's not going to be like super inexperienced teenage Yoda or anything. He's pretty much going to be Yoda that we know.
Yeah.
Teenage Ninja Mutant, no, yeah.
But remember, because that baby Yoda in Mandalorian was 50 years old at the time that we saw it. So,
Right.
That's a genetically engineered.
That's possibly something else. I'm moving away from the clone theory.
It's genetically engineered. Yeah.
I actually don't think he's genetically engineered. I think he's a genuine member of the species.
Well, then what was it the doctor from like Camino?
I think they were going to try to clone Yoda,
Okay.
baby Yoda. I think that's what they were going to do. I think they were going to try to clone him, and they had a doctor from Camino there so that they could do it properly.
yeah.
And I think that's why it was so. I think that's why it was so important for them to get the infant intact, because if that was just a clone, that means that they should have the genetic material to do it anyway. They wouldn't need the baby.
Right.
So
Point.
I think that is a member of Yoda's species, and they're so rare. That's why this is such a high value thing, because you don't find members of Yoda's species very often. We only know of two other ones, Yoda himself and Yaddle, who, yes, Yaddle is still canon.
Yeah, it's the female
yeah.
version.
Who died. We know that she died.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yes. As far as the High Republic goes, I think we're going to see the Jedi much different than we saw them in the prequels. We're going to start to see them develop into that Jedi, but I think we're going to see more of the quote-unquote pure Jedi Order that wasn't being regulated by the Republic, that didn't bend to the will of the Senate, that didn't
That's good.
do these things.
You mean kind of Maverick type Jedis?
Yeah,
The way they should have been.
Sort of, yes.
Yeah.
the way that they were going to be is from the understanding these are when they're still the peacekeepers and not affected by war.
Mm.
Yeah, and what was described in that video was, again, I definitely recommend everybody go watch it, because I know that the High Republic right now is being presented through the novels and the comics, but I have a very strong suspicion that this is going to turn into movies and stuff on Disney Plus, and it's going to be.
Yeah.
They referenced the High Republic in one of the novels. It's not connected to it. So
I would agree with you on that, purely because Pablo Hidalgo is overseeing the project.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want Jon Favreau to make the holiday special part 2 on Disney Plus.
No.
Billy,
Whipster.
it's the High Republic special. Don't even get me.
No.
I think
High Republic holiday special.
dipping into a beautiful lore about Star Wars when it was all
Cooking can be fun.
Yeah.
The Sith was still legend,
No.
because they've all vanished.
I'm I mean, the Sith right now, the idea in this time period should be that the Sith are gone, the Jedi did their job, nobody has to worry. But apparently, there are going to be Sith still around, and I'm assuming maybe they're on Exegol, maybe they're on.
They have to be in secret, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't seen one since in Phantom Menace, right?
Maul was the first one,
Yeah.
quote unquote, unless they change this to where Yoda knew about this and he just didn't tell anybody.
He wiped everybody's memories in the Matrix.
Or they just died. Yeah, exactly.
Wipe them out. All
The
So
Sith are the timeless children.
no.
It looks like a cool story. I'm interested to see where they go. I think this all officially kicks off in August of this year.
Yes, that's correct. And the fact
yeah.
that they're allowing the writers to do the stories on their own free will, they've picked some really prolific writers to Star Wars. And Philip, one of the writers on there is Cavan Scott, who's done a lot of Doctor Who and Big Finish writing.
Oh, so he's doing, so he's got a bit of Star Wars.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of Star Wars stuff lately. He did the
Actually,
Dooku one recently.
that link that Chris that you mentioned, the video thing. Can you chuck that somewhere so I can go and watch that as and when before I go to bed?
Now, there is one thing I want to comment about that video, because I think the video's main purpose was to let everybody know that yes, the High Republic is real. Here's what you're going to be. Here's what you should expect. Here's the time period. All that stuff, I think, was the primary reason for making that video and putting it out there.
Okay.
I think the secondary reason that they put that video out there, because I noticed a lot of this, intercut between the concept art and the people talking about the High Republic, they showed a lot of planning, and they showed a lot of whiteboards being written on and people having meetings. And I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, this is Disney's way and Lucasfilm's way of telling us, listen, we fucked up the last trilogy. Everybody is sitting down and planning this shit out so that we don't fuck this up.
Yeah, and the coolest
and we won't
thing
throw
was
out Colin Trevorrow's script.
Yeah, the coolest thing was from that video, they contacted the guy that made Darth Maul's original concept art from Phantom Menace is doing this.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he designed all the Jedi. He apparently designed the Nile. Apparently the Sith gods, which I think they did show us in that video at the end.
I think this is what they are planning next for the future, because didn't they just say the other day that they're alluding they might be going back into production in 2022 for another film?
So that 2022 film may or may not be an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
So what's happening with that, though?
As far as I know, they are still either rewriting the scripts for the show, or they're weighing their options as to, are we going to do this as a show or are we going to do this as a movie?
They should do it as a movie,
last I heard, McGregor said they should be filming next year.
Yeah, he said that. Unfortunately, he apparently didn't know what was going on when he said that. So whether or not they're doing this as a show or a movie, I don't know. I hope
it should be a movie.
I hope they do Disney Plus. I honestly do.
I think it is. I think as far as he knows, he's been contracted for Disney Plus. He doesn't know because originally it was going to be a movie, but the backlash of the whole Solo thing stopped it.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
And they went to Disney Plus. And
how did Mace die? He
was
pushed out the window.
Thanks, Billy. Press that in the chat for that joke.
Billy. What the hell?
You know what, Bill? You're funny. Oh,
it's okay. It's okay because he retroactively became a Force ghost, so it's fine.
Did you see that interview with Harrison Ford?
Yeah, he didn't care.
He goes, I don't know what a fuck a Force ghost is.
Yeah. Staying on the Star Wars front, that's really the biggest news. The thing that came out, I think it was 2 days ago. The novel for The Rise of Skywalker is coming out this month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
Along with these novels, there's always the clarifications from the movie, expansions on scenes from the movie, yada yada yada.
Right.
A page leaked online from the beginning of the book, which apparently tells us the beginning of what we saw in The Rise of Skywalker. And it does confirm that Palpatine's body was indeed a clone.
Oh,
The body was. The body
was a clone.
But not the soul.
The body was breaking down because it couldn't contain his immense power. I think that's almost a direct quote from the book.
I was going to say, why would you clone yourself into a decrepit body like that? So,
right. So now here is my question for everybody that works at Lucasfilm. What was so hard about clarifying that in the movie? I mean,
exactly.
Jesus Christ. They have the guy from The Lord of the Rings who played Merry. He goes into this like 10-second diatribe about cloning, Sith magic, things that only the Sith knew. Why was this so difficult?
He shouldn't have even been in the movie.
Yeah.
I wanted them to focus on Rose more. Damn it.
Oh, stop.
Oh, no.
I'm serious.
Oh, get out. She shouldn't even have been in. Last year was a joke.
Last Jedi was great.
I didn't mind Rose so much.
Please,
I would have rather her be the one to be in there.
Kick her ass out of that.
No, dude. They took
Wait.
everything in The Last Jedi and gave a big middle finger to it, and
She shouldn't even.
it is a disrespect to that actress.
Oh, stop it!
It is.
Kelly Marie.
Yeah, you're gonna make a shit Star Wars Disney Plus thing about
Kelly
Rose.
Marie Tran got.
I didn't say she had to be the main focus.
She got treated awfully by the entire fan base and by the production crew that made The Rise of Skywalker. These are not. This is not debatable. These are facts.
Yeah.
Who?
But when she did,
who are you?
But
you ain't getting a role in this movie. That's big at all.
Look, the thing I liked was when she went to Star Wars Celebration and all the people cheered at her when she was on the main stage.
Rose should have been with the crew during that whole movie, and then she like starts, and to top it all off, she's like trying to hang out with Finn near the end, and he just blows her off.
Right, man.
I'm gonna say something controversial here, and I really don't care because this is how I feel. Rose was far better than Jannah, and I don't want to hear what anybody says.
Agreed.
Jannah was an awful character in The Rise of Skywalker. She could have been so much better, and there was no reason for her to be there.
Wasn't she sucking her thumb with Ryan Sinclair? No, I'm just kidding.
Jannah, which one's Jannah, right? Jannah's
the stormtrooper on Endor that was leading those.
Oh yeah, the stormtrooper group that had the potential to be awesome by saying, "Oh well, we disemboweled because of fucking Finn," but no.
The one they implied that she will be Lando's daughter.
She was Lando's daughter in the original script. In the original script, they flat out say it, like, "Oh, she was his daughter."
And why did they stop it?
Because I'm assuming that's going to be a novel that they make.
I
think it's going to be the first post-Rise of Skywalker novel that they make.
Like, it would have been so cool if those stormtroopers were like, yeah, we disbanded from the First Order because of you, Finn.
Yeah.
Not just because.
Now, we're looking at this... Oh, sorry. We're looking at this wrong. The next Star Wars novel will be Star Wars: The Timeless Jedi.
Yeah.
Doctor Who, The Phantom Dalek.
Well, somebody made a really good comment, and I can't get it out of my head now about how accurate it is. Take the title of Episode 1 and switch it with the title of Episode 9, and it makes so much more sense.
Yep.
So, Episode 1, The Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
Star Wars Episode 9, The Phantom Menace.
Right.
Oh.
Yep.
That's true, though.
Which that's just a little bit of information there for you.
And I'm sorry, I can't stand the whole Lando being like, on your left. And then fucking Rey and Palpatine, I am all of the Sith, and I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Fucking, come on.
Let's talk about how Leia sends the message to everybody, hey, we're getting our asses handed to us by the First Order. We need help. Nah. Lando goes out there. Oh, shit, Lando? Let's go.
Yeah.
Fucking Lando, pointless. Like, and you know what else? You know what else? The crawl, the dead
Awful?
speak. He's Palpatine's just talking. Oh, wait, we didn't hear him talking. When did that happen? In Fortnite.
Yes. Long.
Why did Palpatine send a message out there when you really think about it?
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
That ruins everything.
When he could just show up with a fleet of Death Star armed Star Destroyers and blow the fuck out of the Resistance.
And can we talk about how stupid the dagger was?
Oh
Oh my god. I'm just
through that at
gonna
nauseam.
happen to stand in this exact spot, hold it up in this
Exactly.
exact position, and it's just gonna magically sync up like the fucking Goonies. And it's just
Billy, it's the will of the Force. Don't you?
will of the force, the
No,
will
no,
of
It
the
was
wisp,
too
the will of the bullshit.
coincidental. It was too, and as what's your name again? Joe said before.
What's my name? You said?
Yeah,
Did you
no, I
say-
keep forgetting.
What's that guy's name? Joe? Did you just say that?
Yeah, I keep forgetting your name. But anyway, yeah. But after all the centuries of that part of the Death Star being shoved around by the seas and being eroded and everything, and she still manages to be in this exact spot where, where she can find the
Yeah.
ancient.
How are there even pieces of the Death Star?
Well, here I have thought about this since the movie came out. I know that's sad, but I've thought about this since I saw the movie, and I still cannot figure out. Palpatine told Ochi to kill Rey's parents when he could have easily told Ochi, bring them to me so I can force interrogate them, and we'll find out where Rey is.
Good
And
point.
that completely negates episode 7, 8, and 9.
Yes. Also, Palpatine's obsession with being struck down seems to be a bit concerning.
That's close.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't
Wanted
worry.
to essence transfer. You have to die in order to essence transfer. So
Yeah.
Take my weapon, strike me down. How many times can you?
Now he goes into a clone body now, then. Right?
huh?
And also,
Now
how many
he goes
times?
into a clone body now. Another ball. No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
don't,
how many-
I don't see why
How
not.
how many Skywalkers can he keep telling the same story of? Have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis?
Yeah, but hang on. If he went into if he used a clone body to keep himself alive, why did he degenerate then? If he knew that all he has to do is get two Jedi's or whatever to renew himself, he could have done that with anybody.
So apparently, what they're trying to sell us in this movie is that though Force Drain is an ability, it doesn't work as well with regular Jedi and Sith as it does somebody who's
Force dyad.
a Force dyad.
Yeah, because he was
okay.
originally like, I'll kill you and possess you. But then he was like, Force dyad, give
But
me that shit.
Explain this to me, though, right? Think about this for a second. We've established that Palpatine created Snoke, right?
right?
Yeah.
Snoke
You've
pickles in a
established-
jar.
We established that Palpatine was talking through Snoke to Kylo Ren, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Snoke in episode 8 says, I'm the one that bridged your minds. Darkness rises and light to meet it. I knew that when my apprentice would rise in the dark, that his equal would rise in the light, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means he knew that they were a dyad. If Snoke knew that they were a dyad, and Palpatine was the one talking through him, how the hell did Palpatine not know they were a dyad?
Because he wasn't real. Because he said he was talking to him, but he probably wasn't really talking.
But he was in control of Snoke, though.
Well, he said that.
Yeah, I am everybody you've ever heard. And all
No,
that.
he really
Yeah.
was. Yeah, he was in
Right.
control of Snoke. He didn't lie about that.
But
How
was
did
he
he
in
not
complete
know?
control of him?
I don't think he was in control of him every single second, but he knew
Exactly.
everything that happened with Snoke.
Why
Wow.
couldn't Kylo Ren just be the Supreme Leader?
He was for a little bit.
But like in this movie.
Oh, he was supposed to be in Trevorrow's script. He was.
I know,
the
I
first-
want that
The
script.
first scene of the movie was going to be him invading Coruscant.
Why couldn't Poe Dameron just be a great character in his own right? Oh, he's a spice runner.
Which is
A spice
bullshit.
He's
runner.
Han Solo. He's fucking
We already
Han
got
Solo.
we already got a backstory for Poe. and it was fantastic. And then they retconned it.
He's just Han Solo, and now here's this character that we see her eyes, and then when we see her eyes, it's not interesting at all because she's got 2 regular eyes. It would have been way more interesting if she had like 3 eyes or something to make us more intrigued. And then she was the most boring character who was pointless.
Yeah.
Can I just say, you'd think after all these years, Palpatine would learn his lesson and keep blasting people with Force lightning.
Why do you keep blasting the lightning when it's clearly coming back at you?
Because
He has lightsabers.
Palpatine in this movie was a moron.
Yes,
We are not dealing with the Palpatine that played everybody in the prequels. He was an absolute moron.
This clone
Wasn't he
body
blind
has
too,
side
though?
effects like weird fingers
Allegedly.
and brain
So he's
damage.
crippled and blind. So
brain
isn't he like an
damage
elderly
and brain
Palpatine?
damage.
He must,
but the
he
el-
must be. Because
Dementia?
how else do you explain
Brain
the
damage.
blunders that he did? You know, like
He had Dark Force dementia, probably.
Brain
Yes,
damage.
but where was his light?
Dementia.
Where was his lightsabers?
Why not?
Where was his walking stick? I was expecting Kylo Ren to recreate the scene where
He
picks
couldn't
him
even
up and
walk.
goes
He was in that fucking apparatus. Come on.
Brain
No, I was
damage.
no. Have you seen the how it should have ended version? I would have
No.
loved the Force Ghost of Anakin to have come in and threw him down the hole.
well, that's the thing. When they did this story in the EU, they showed Palpatine die. Han Solo shoots him, and then he tries to essence transfer into Anakin Solo. And before he can do it, the spirit of a past Jedi stops him and drags his spirit into the netherworld of the Force and says, "You will never break the boundaries of life and death again." It would have been perfect for in this movie for Anakin and Luke and Leia, showing them pulling him into the netherworld of the Force and saying something similar. They
Right.
had the opportunity to do this, and instead they were like, you know what? Let's let them just talk to Rey, and then she'll get 2 lightsabers, and she'll just blow Palpatine up.
I love how the cast clearly hates the movie too. Like every interview, it's like they're cringing. And there's that one interview where they're all together with J.J. Abrams, and then the guy says, "All right, in one facial expression, I want you
Oh,
all
I
to
remember that.
convey
And
your thoughts on the movie," and they
Anthony
all look
Daniels fucking
horrified.
hated it. Anthony
And
Daniels
Abrams is
hated
looking
that
at him
shit.
like, and then Harrison Ford again was like, "I don't know if Force Ghost is."
I
Terry
think
died. I had to do this.
That was a shot at everybody who tried to get the expressions for people that didn't like The Last Jedi when clearly they don't know what they're talking about.
Chris, was it you that said something about Doctor Who recently where you were like, how are they going to explain this? And it's just like, oh, well, the dark side is a pathway to many abilities.
Yeah, that's my new thing. Whenever there's something in a movie or a TV show or a video game or something, or even in real life that I don't know how it works, I just say, well, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is how many Skywalkers can he keep saying that same thing to?
It's his goal to say it to all of them, I think.
Cletus Cassidy, what happened to your awful hair? The dark side is a pathway to many abilities.
Yeah. How can there be doctors before the Doctor? Well, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities considered to be unnatural.
Yeah, when we watched it in the cinema, everyone was cackling that Palpatine had a new bathrobe that was like Snoke's.
Yeah, why does robe change color?
I know that was the Revenge of the Sith colors, but that just looked ridiculous.
He got the Force dyad energy from them, and then he was like, "Well, this was unexpected." And then one of the goons in the rafters was like, "Lord Palpatine, I tried this new robe," and it was Mickey. And then they threw it to him, and he was like, "Well, it's not gold, but it'll do for now." And then he put it on.
You should see the how it should have ended version. It was amazing. He's like, no, Brian. It's like, we're trying to do this Sith quiet thing.
Did anybody see that clip of the people watching the end of the movie in the theater screaming?
Yeah.
Where she's like, who are you? Rey. Rey who? And then all the kids in the audience are like, don't fucking say it!
Right.
Don't say it! And then it's like, Skywalker, and they're like, no!
I know, I saw that shit. I
You see
love
this
that.
dad like get up with his kid and walk
Like,
out of the
fuck
theater,
it.
and then the girl yells, I fucking hate Star Wars.
I can't. It's almost comical when you stop and think, and you're like, the last Skywalker is a Palpatine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Palpatine what?
That is a
Palpatine
disgrace.
Now, if you think about it, Palpatine actually won by having one of his relatives still living in the galaxy, and all the Skywalkers are dead.
And to add on to your point, Matthew, the ironic thing is that we are now back to square one because we have unbalanced the Force because now there are no dark side users.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means the Force is going to generate an exceptionally powerful dark side user who's going to cause untold chaos throughout the galaxy.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Somewhere in the Disney office, they're saying, if our sales tank on this next movie, is Ian McDiarmid available for the next one?
No, Ray was no one. It was great. It was like anybody could be super powerful. A great message. Oh, never mind. You got to have a fucking bloodline.
Yeah,
Never mind.
The theory people will get to accept the most is she's Rey Kenobi, not Rey Skywalker or Palpatine.
Also, I thought it was hilarious how fucking petty General Hux was.
I know.
I don't
Yeah.
want you to win. I just want to see Kylo Ren fucking
Listen.
lose.
Do
Do you know what? Richard E. Grant stole that scene when he blasted him when he found out he was the traitor.
He was great.
I love Richard E. Grant.
Listen,
He was
in,
a great
in
intelligence.
the original script, in Trevorrow's script, they explain why Hux was always jealous of Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And the way he dies in that, unbelievable.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
But
was
I didn't see that part.
He
I
was,
was
jealous
really-
he was jealous of Kylo Ren because he was Force sensitive. And he wanted to be Force sensitive, right?
Yeah.
And to compensate for that, he used to collect Jedi lightsabers.
Ooh.
And one of the lightsabers he collected was Mace Windu's lightsaber.
Whoa.
And when the First Order, the Final Order, whatever you want to call it, started losing on the, they were going to have a massive battle on Coruscant. When they started losing and he realized it, he goes up to the Imperial Castle and he kills himself with Mace Windu's lightsaber.
Who threw out this
I saw that
script?
concept art.
Who
Well,
threw out this script?
Disney.
Kathleen Kennedy and everybody else at Lucasfilm.
I hate them.
I know.
It
I-
didn't fit their vision.
I hate them.
Also, I hate them.
This is
Yeah,
now
Young
So-
ladies.
the Siege of Coruscant. That's being played out on Clone Wars 07, isn't it?
Yes. But
Also-
this was going to be a much different, like R2 was going to get shot during the battle, and like C-3PO and Chewbacca have to carry him to safety.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And they said it was like the most emotional thing you can think of because 3PO is talking to him while he's like slowly dying.
Dude,
Wow.
thank God we have the Mandalorian. Also,
And
like,
Yeah, because
put up with the Chewbacca fake out.
yeah. Now, can you explain this to me? Was it true they were going to have that little scene where Vader and Kylo met?
I don't know. Oh, yes, they were. They were going to, what was going to happen was Kylo Ren was going to take over Coruscant and say, I'm in charge. And he was going to find a holocron that Palpatine left behind for
Would've been
Vader
so
in case,
cool.
in case he died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Holocron was going to be able to detect if anybody but Vader opened it up, right? So it was when he opened it up, it was going to explode and scar up his face. And so to cover up his face, that was it wasn't like morbidly scarred. It was just like a bit, but it was enough for him to be like, I guess, self-conscious about it or something.
Sheesh, dude.
He was going to make a new mask out of Beskar. The thing Mandalorian, and it was going to have Mandalorian-like designs on it.
Gosh
And he
damn
was
it.
going to wear it. And then there was going to be a scene, like Matthew said, where he was going to go and have kind of like a Dagobah tree cave kind of thing, where Vader was going to show up, except this time the image of Vader defeats Kylo Ren and throws him out of whatever it was, basically telling him the dark side is rejecting you.
Right.
Joe,
Because
I know
he
we
has to be
gave
in
you
the light.
shit. Joe, I know we gave you shit about, oh, just remake The Last Jedi. You know what? Fuck that. Remake this movie. I don't care. Remake the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, because all the concept art is online, and correct me if I'm wrong, I saw one of Rey with a double-bladed blue lightsaber.
She was gonna attach the broken parts of Anakin's lightsaber to the top and bottom of her
So what is
staff.
it? More money that they just
Disney?
didn't want to do it?
Disney has
No.
all the money in the world. Okay, Disney does not make movies to make money. They make money to make movies. Could you not be bothered to film the Force Ghosts?
Exactly.
Basically,
Well, no,
No,
they weren't
yeah.
allowed to film because of China, right?
Could I not see Chewbacca get
China
kidnapped?
No,
doesn't want
China.
to see ghosts, though.
No.
it was something
It
like
wasn't.
that, yeah.
No, it
but-
was.
No.
It was, Matthew, it was. China doesn't like, they don't accept ghosts in their films.
But I call BS on that story because I think that Disney just made that up because they knew
China
this,
and the coronavirus
they
and Winnie the
they knew this
Pooh.
movie wasn't going to do well in China anyway because Star Wars movies don't do well over there anyway.
No, what I'm trying to get at is, from my understanding, Colin Trevorrow has basically implied that he had conflicts with Kathleen Kennedy. I don't think his script fitted their vision of how the
It
last
didn't.
film should have been.
Matt
It did
Smith.
apparently one of the main things, not the main thing, but one of the main things that he was in conflict with them was he didn't want to bring the Emperor back.
Oh, damn it!
And
I
they
wish he
said
would
you
have.
need to bring the Emperor back, and he said no, the Emperor has no place in the story.
I respect this man. Come
Me
on
too.
now. Like
And
what
I
the
was-
hell?
I was saying, oh no, he's gonna ruin it, blah 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 blah. When I saw this concept art and his script stuff, I was like, I was wrong.
And a way to confuse the audience with Finn. What's he gonna tell Rey? That he loves her? Oh no, he's force sensitive, but they downplay it because they hate the Last Jedi.
Yeah, he was gonna have a scene where they were on that Star Destroyer. He was gonna have a scene where he uses the Force to pull a panel up to get to where they had to go, and then they changed it and they said, no, have BB-8 do it instead.
Fire Kathleen Kennedy.
I
Fire
think-
I
J.J.
don't know who made that
Abrams.
decision, but yeah.
Chris Terrio out. Where does she get a yellow kyber crystal?
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, but as far as it goes for Star Wars, unless you're watching Clone Wars now, there's nothing really going
need-
on apart from Our Republic.
Or Mandalorian season 2 when they
We
come
need
out.
Topher
Yeah.
Grace to do an edit.
No, there's always talk as well.
Isn't he
about,
always doing edits to the Star Wars stuff?
Yeah, we need him to
No,
fix
there's
this.
also this talk that probably the next animated project is going to be the sequel to Rebels, from what we've been hearing.
Yes. Yep.
We have less than a minute. Are we doing another one?
I don't know. Chris?
You got Marvel stuff to talk about at all?
I'm good to do one more.
I'm good
All right,
to
we'll
do
do
one
one
more
more.
as well.
One
All right.
more, one more, and
I'm gonna skip out because I'm tired.
Good night, Philip.
All right.
Night, Philip.
I'll see the rest of
All
you
right,
guys in
see you
there.
later,
We'll be
guys.
right, we'll be right back. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye for now.